What's going on, guys? It's Unfairly back here with some more Marathon PvP content. Today we're going to be getting into a few trio matches from the Server Slam over this weekend. We're going to be kind of following up my previous solo survival guide with the trio survival guide. And we're just going to be getting into a lot of combat insights as usual and how you can really turn the tides of fights with individual plays as a solo. It doesn't always have to be a traditional head-to-head fight. I just also wanted to mention that the Marathon Masterclass Discord is live. We have a bunch of people in there hanging out. If you guys ever need clip reviews, coaching on an individual or one-on-one basis, come on in, chat, ask questions. I answer pretty much every question, say hi back to everyone. So come chill out if you guys want. We're going to be jumping into Dire Marsh here. Again, a trio Server Slam match. We're playing very PvP focused, so off the rip, we start to look at the map. As we've talked about in the previous videos, you know after a while about the fixed spawn points where people can spawn at any point in relation to where you spawned. So you're going to always know that pretty much if it's not the next POI nearest to your spawn, there's going to be people at least the next nearest POIs to your spawn. So you're always going to want it when you get around these areas, match the kind of gameplay flow, and slow down, keep your weapons out, keep your ears open for noises or audio cues, as we've always said, just to ensure that you're going to be the one that gets that first shot and starts the fight on your terms.
What's this?
So we're going to head towards the AI uplink spawn point. Just try, again, to find a team that just spawned and is not expecting to be pushed this fast. Have their heads in the loot, caught off guard. We're going to rotate into the POI. We're going to slow down the pace, run, immediately stops once we get near the POI so we can minimize the audio cues to players that may be inside.
I'm back.
You can even see we'll slow it down a little bit more, crouching up here just to really listen for the slightest sounds or indication of players. So we hear a door open. Because we're being so quiet, those things stick out very easily. So we're going to take a very cautious, slow approach into the POI. But a very common issue that you'll find is when you're trying to be stealthy, the AIs definitely don't want you to be. So when something like that happens, you really have to be cognizant about how did this affect the situation at hand. Did the players that you're sneaking up on recognize that that AI was triggered on enemy players, or did it kind of blend into their background noise of fighting the other AI and whatever they're doing? And so when we look and see these players, we're going to see that they're engaged with other AI, and that essentially melted into the background of what they were perceiving. So we're still in the position of having the stealth and the first shot.
Yep. I did not even look for that. It's awkward.
Again, being in the elevated position is crucial. It gives you so many more opportunities and instant snapshots of information. And so you can see that those players kind of were hunkered down in that tunnel, which leads all the way underground along the line that I'm running to this main building into the basement. And so I instruct my teammates to keep over at that entrance to ensure that the enemy remains engaged, busy, and they don't run out that way, while I sneak around the back end.
I downed one, the other was 1 HP.
And try to flank.
He got my full kill.
I emphasize them to kind of not push and be aggressive and really let me work the situation and make the play. But of course, things don't always work out as planned. And so we still commit to the plan. We slow down the pace as we get closer. And when we hear the audio cue of heals or any abilities, we're instantly crouching.
Camo filter engaged.
He's peeking the door again.
Caught him in the back. And then instantly put down his teammate. So I usually preach to put down people as soon as possible so they don't tag or give you information. Even though I looked at his other teammate first, I felt like in this situation, even if he called me out or tagged me, his teammate that's up in the stairwell is going to turn around and put his back to my teammates that are collapsing in on him at the same time. So the perfect sandwich happened, and this wouldn't be possible or maybe as quick of a fight and a resolution to the fight as it would have been if someone didn't make a solo play and go out of their way to break the traditional fight that was happening.
We do a little flanking.
Did we get the whole squad?
Yeah.
And so, in the next clip, we switch over to Perimeter. This is another PvP-focused trio. We're looking around for easy players, any sort of sound that we can rush towards, and essentially see if there's better loot, better players, just to keep our inventories up the at the utmost combat capacity.
Hold down a supply drop.
So we're going to hear shooting at South Relay.
Oh, yeah.
And then you're also going to hear the supply
tick
drop
building,
that
isn't
we've
it?
talked about
Tick
many
building
times.
slash,
That gives off a
supply drop,
huge audio cue
dragonfly hill.
in the alarm that you can hear, as well as a large visual kind of beam that is seen from all four corners of the map. It's going to alert pretty much everyone that you're there and that you're looking to get some loot. And so it's pretty enticing to aggressive players as ourselves. Notice how we're kind of being like a cat here. When a cat is curious or it's scared or unsure, it doesn't just kind of walk proudly out in the middle of certain worn like roads or like just open areas. We're kind of being cautious, staying low to the ground along the side of the map, creeping along. You never want to rush into the engagement, especially sprinting, just because the audio cues, and I mean, you're just out in the open. If they're a competent squad and they're ready for someone to come, it's not going to end well for you. So we're going to wrap around. I just want to point out, when we come up here, you're going to see kind of these pillars here. What I'm going to do is rotate around the farthest to get a different sightline, and my teammates are going to take sightlines here and to the left as well. And so, again, we're not rushing straight into the situation uninformed. We're surrounding the situation, getting multiple sight lines on where people are going to be, and getting the most information that we can before we actually commit into this fight. So again, very greedy, instantly on the loot, looking into it, not looking around, making sure that they're okay. Especially dangerous in the fog condition where sight lines are very, very short and you can't see far. So you have very low predictability on people coming towards you with the diminished sight lines.
Just crack shield.
And you're just going to see how having these different sight lines, you can just see how this person is spinning around, having no idea where the shots are coming from. And so having those multiple sight lines for literally a complete collapse on the last person, it's just absolute decimation. And if you rushed into it at that point, it may have been a very long, dragged out fight where we may have both had to tuck our tails and leave, both teams. And we may both have suffered losses and lost loot. And so, again, always having the advantage, tilting it statistically in your favor in any way, even if it's 1%, is always going to be the choice that you have to take. So here we're going to get into the next clip back on Dire Marsh. Again, another PvP focused run. We just spawned and we're rushing towards field maintenance where we know the next spawn point is, and you're going to hear that there is fighting inside. But one thing about this is, and it's kind of like a common problem, where you're trying to be stealthy, and just like the other kind of first clip, the AI doesn't cooperate with you and reveals your position and ultimately brings you from a point of having the first shot advantage and the stealth to being the disadvantaged team and maybe being wiped. As you can see, I just got sniped by one of the AI. They do have various weapons, shotguns, grenade launchers, snipers, so they are dangerous. I'm going to run to help my teammate, but get absolutely beamed out in the open. As we talked about, as soon as I got beamed, I knew where my cover was, moved to it, and instantly made one of the big three decisions: healed, used an ability, or evaded if we didn't get the fight. My teammate says that he's trying to flank, but he's going to actually say that there's more than one person over there. So being that it's a relatively low chance of him surviving, he's going to get back to us, and we're going to make a big play. So I kind of hold off, hesitate on rushing towards him. I notice that he's back with us now. All three of us are together. And so being that we're kind of trapped in this weird place where we really don't have too much cover and we can easily get flanked, I'm going to make the executive call to say, hey, let's soft reset the fight. We're going to evade out the back door here and run up on the roof to get a height position. checking one more time for any sort of information, instantly call out to go up to height. The reposition and the soft resets are always something that you need to be thinking about at all times. Even though it's hard, it's really something that you need to think about in lulls of fights. Whenever the shooting really stops for more than a couple seconds, you really need to think, is this the place to be in, or is there something that has a better chance of my survival or ending the fight? So we move to, again, a super important position that we've talked about, the verticality of Marathon, getting on height, and you're going to see how valuable that this simple reposition was for this fight. So normally, I wouldn't take that second peek instantly. I would make get to the cover, make one of the big three decisions. Again, heal, ability, or evade. But knowing that he had, off the first shot, a gray or no shields, I continued to shoot him, knowing that, just trusting my aim on the 50-50.
I'll finish one.
Oh, third.
He's right there.
Cracks.
And we're going to get a gnarly body shot snipe and quick finish off this whole trio.
Do it.
And it's just insane, really, how the decision-making can take you out of those situations where you go into the fight with maybe an 80% chance to win, the tides turn, and you're at a position where you have about a 20% chance to live. You make a simple decision in even a brief, calm moment to reposition and get to this height, and your chances go from 20% survival to 80% survival in just that moment. So here, we're going to be back on Dire Marsh. Again, another PvP-focused run. We just spawned. We are in the upper right corner of the map, heading into this first POI near us. We know where the spawn points are, which is basically at the south part of this POI, straight ahead. And so we're going to make the decision as a trio to split up the POI. I'm going hard right, someone's going middle, and someone's going far left, just to comb the POI as fast as possible, listen, or just have the most listening radius for any sort of audio cues. And we're going to hear engagement from the players, enemy players shooting at the AI. And I could go and join my teammates and make it the traditional head-to-head fight, but knowing that no one's really been spotted yet on our team or taken any damage or shot themselves, I'm going to continue on my route to see if I can get a soft flank on these people and turn the fight in our advantage. Try to end it as quickly as possible for anyone else who's doing the same thing like we are, listening for fights, trying to go and kill weak players for their loot. So I'm trying to avoid the AI as much as possible, which only leads me to even a deeper flank.
Oh, they're pushing up to me. They saw me.
The great comms from the teammates, especially when one of your teammates is making a play like this and you know it, giving comms just so they can stay updated on the situation, even though they don't see it, is crucial.
Having to back off, reload. Nice. Pushing.
You can see again, even on that first shot, we wait until we have the clear shot where we know that we can put them down in literally half a second. We do not want to damage them to half and have them run off, tagging people, calming to their teammates where you are. It's an absolute show. So always, again, want to have that trigger discipline and make sure you're getting the fastest kill possible.
I've only seen 2 so far, but last one's on me. Is this guy? He's 1.
We're gonna run up and take out the remaining player. You'll see that there was somebody that was doing a self-revive. It's kind of like a sort of a hissing sound like you'll hear here. But when you have these down players, you really want to be cognizant to put them down before you go for any sort of revives on your teammates or go into any sort of looting patterns. I've been on both ends, tragically. I've done that to other trios as the last remaining player and came out on top with all of my teammates, and I've also let one of them go and they've come back to bite it later in the game, even when I had more loot. So it's always important to put those people down, just to make sure that everything is secure and that you're not going to get snuck up on while you're looting or reviving your teammates. But yeah, thank you guys again so much for your support. We're probably going to do the next video kind of as a part 2 to the solo survival guide, and then we'll kind of alternate solos, trios. But we have a ton more content, ton more clips that I got on the server slam. I'm so excited to share it with you guys and kind of give you the mind behind what I'm doing. once again, try to join the Marathon Masterclass Discord if you need any sort of questions answered, clips reviewed, or if you just want to look for a group chat, hang out. I'm always in there answering questions in the chat, so feel free to come by and stop by, hang out a little bit. But thank you guys again for the support. If you guys need to connect, I'm Unfairly with 2Ys on X or Twitter, and I'm Unfairly in the Marathon Discord. Thank you guys again so much for your support.